So, I've been struggling to come up with ideas for games using Unity, and I wanted to try coding a game without an engine, so I decided to make a game using Python. Python, the coding language, is a lot more simpler than C#, which was what I used to use to make games previously, so I thought that this would be a lot easier. I started things off by installing Python and some required tools to make games using it. I was going to try editing code using VS Code, which I've been using recently to code with Unity, but I had some problems and installed PyCharm, which was recommended for Python. It took about 30 minutes to set up, but once I got it ready, I started to follow an hour-long Python tutorial, knowing I would only remember about 15 seconds worth of it. I got the hang of using variables and printing, as they are really simple, but I struggled to use some of the more complex things, which could have probably helped a lot. Sadly, as expected, I had to turn off my computer before I could finish the tutorial. Later that day, I was able to go back on my computer and continue coding. I continued on following the tutorial and made a lot more progress, and eventually finished it. After that, I tried to use Pygame, which would allow me to display windows on my screen, and I would be able to make more complex games, but sadly I couldn't get it working. I had school, so I missed out on working with Python for a bit, but eventually found a good time to do it as I had no homework that night. Instead of using Pygame, I decided to make a quiz using prints and inputs, which display text in the console. I got a lot of work done before realizing that nothing was actually working, and you would always be told you got the correct answer, even if you didn't. I couldn't figure out the solution to the problem, so I gave up after a few tries. During school the next day, I thought about the fix for my issue, and once I got home, I had a few possible fixes. I tried them all and none of them worked. Sat there for a bit and tried some new ideas, and after a bit, I found the solution. Once it was fixed, I could go back to working on the quiz. I added a few more questions and spaced out the lines to make it easier to read, and once that was done, I made some text at the end telling you your score. And that was how I made a quiz using Python. Sorry for the short video. I was going to make a much more complicated game, but couldn't get everything set up. Sadly, you cannot download the game, as I don't know how to export Python games without even having a display. The code is going to be in the description if you already have Python installed and can run games like mine, but I don't recommend that you download Python just to play my game. It's a waste of storage. Thanks for watching.